You're listening to The War Report, a wrestling and relationships podcast with your host, Vince Berry. The War Report is brought to you by TagMeADate.com, where wrestling night is date night. Sign up now, and your first month is free. All right. We are live and in public, if you will, on another Tuesday night here, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for the latest and, dare I say, greatest edition of the War Report podcast, brought to you by TagMeADate.com. It is Tuesday, September 1st, 2015, and we have a heck of a show for you. We have a special test run of our Friedman, another version of the Friedman 5 here, where we're going to be discussing our least favorite. We have our top 5 least, not most, but least favorite members of the Four Horsemen. And spoiler alert, there are 2 gentlemen here that really dislike a particular member of the Four Horsemen, and he is their number 1 pick. I won't tell you who it is, but there are 2 guys here that are ready to go with and just lay into a certain member of the Four Horsemen.
I'm sure everyone can guess, though.
Oh, my brother. These guys are ready to go. Eric, how are things with you? It's been a minute since we spoke.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm doing all right. Can't complain. I finished 3 seasons of Orange is the New Black in 2 weeks. I've been bored.
You got a lot of time on your hands, don't you?
It's a good show, you know.
I watched a little bit of it, but I was like, at the time I was working and I was looking for a show to watch on my lunch break, and it's not like a lunch break show. Like you
gotta sit down and binge it. That's amazing.
I'm gonna go back to it. Yeah, I have to get back to Arrow as well. Got into that, but then I saw that my favorite show, The League, its latest season is up on Netflix now, and if you haven't watched that, it's about fantasy football and just a bunch of really terrible antisocial people that are in a fantasy football league, and it's very funny. But
that sounds funny.
It's pretty good. And their last season is this year, and it coincides, like it always coincides with our draft. So it's nice to kind of have a, a television, like there's a fictional representation of what's going on in your fantasy football league at home. But how about you, Steve? How are you?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain.
Right.
We got some really exciting things coming. Some big events we're going to be a part of, which is cool. And,
big events.
Yeah, some big events. One of them in New York. And
no pun intended.
No pun intended. And location searching is around the corner, which is great news. We actually may be live with our test pilot in the Northeast tomorrow. So we're very excited. So it's coming along. Yeah, things are good. I can't complain.
Fantastic.
And boy, do we have a lot to fucking talk about in the world of wrestling.
Especially in the last 48 hours.
Holy shit.
What the hell happened yesterday, man?
I mean,
Crazy broke out.
we got fucking what do we? Well, I'll let the Freeman 5 because we're gonna cover it all. So
I feel like Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Stephanie all decided to play Jumanji yesterday, and just bad shit happened. But yeah. And one last thing, because we can't skip by him. Ryan the intern.
Hello.
Fired guy. No, I'm just kidding. Ryan the intern. I love that episode of The Office.
Congrats. Get the fuck off my podcast.
How's it going, man? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Excellent. And then we got to get Stu back on. We'll get Hector back on. Rotate some people in too, because I know Stu was looking into trying to figure out how to do it on his phone, I think.
Yeah, well, he had some kind of dinner or some shit he was going to try and get on if he gets back.
Yeah, trust me. If he's got an engagement, we won't disturb the boy.
Yeah.
But we'll let him have his fun. But what we will do is we will play the wonderful soundbite for our Friedman 5, which is our 5 topics we go over every week. And then later we get to argue about the worst 4 horsemen of all time, which I can't wait for. But we will start with the regular Friedman 5, and away we go.
And you're going to get a 5 count. Do you hear that? You're going to get a 5 count.
3 ain't enough, man. I need 5. Just give me more time to keep your ass alive.
Gotta dance like Big E from now on. Do the booty dance.
Speaking of Big E, he was hysterical last night.
You know, I
He's
was
always hilarious.
so not into them as an act, and now they're warm. I'm really warming up to them. Alexis is gonna hate me for that.
He goes,
She
"Your
does
dear
not
old
care for
granny.
them at all.
Your Bubby."
Your puppy.
When he said your Bubby, I was dying.
Why?
And your weird uncle that looks at your girlfriend all the time at Thanksgiving.
Oh man, there's like each of those jokes had like 10% of the viewing population absolutely cracking up. Like that was that one line was designed for you, and then the next one was designed for everybody with a weird uncle that looks weird.
It might cover all 3
Uh.
for some people, but
Yeah, we all have a weird uncle.
I think we do. Everybody's got that family member. But sir, what are our Friedman 5 for this week amongst all of the chaos that is ensued?
I mean,
there's no other
you
word.
gotta really narrow it down because there's a lot that went down recently. You got the Performance Center shooting.
Right? Oh
You
my
got
God.
the dude that tried to jump Dean Ambrose with whatever a few days ago.
Right? Oh my God.
You got Snuka today basically being convicted of that apparent murder 32 years ago that's coming into play. You got... What the hell else was going on?
Zara.
Yeah, yes, Zara.
First of all, she debuts.
Zara the Night Nazi.
Zara, they call her Zara the Nazi. She comes out and she makes a debut as Solomon Crow's sister. She has a sister, but and then it comes out that she's a fucking Nazi. And not only did she break up the 10-year relationship of Seth Rollins and his fiancée,
With that pick.
she's a fucking Nazi. Like, how much worse can your day get, dude? I feel so bad for Seth Rollins, but not like he kind of did it to himself.
And then you got the Bram facing domestic charges.
Jesus, yeah.
And did TNA let him go, or is
He's currently
Suspended
suspended.
indefinitely.
okay?
Which is funny because in 2014, Big John Gaburik signed Bram to a multi-year contract about 6 different times and announced it on Twitter and Facebook every time. Just a series of contract extensions throughout the last
And I
year.
did learn today that he's still legally married to Charlotte.
Right, but they're
They were
The process of
they're not together anymore.
yeah. They've been separated for quite a while, but
Yeah, I got that.
and then there was that. So that's 5. But then there was also this little. Apparently, Greg the Hammer Valentine a week or so ago went on a
yes.
big rant against women's wrestling or something like that.
Yeah, what
Yes,
the
he
fuck was that about?
So
And then we
Crazy,
also
that's
have
what
Raw to talk about, and we have to do our horsemanship. We got a lot
Yeah,
to cover.
there's
It's like
lots
the
of-
Friedman
we gotta-
Night 10 tonight.
we got to pack it in.
1,000. All right. So what do we start with there, Eric? I will let you.
Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. So,
Oh, wow, he just went to House of Pain. That's
oh yeah,
we just
the House of
went to
Pain is in effect, y'all.
As long as it's not the House of Truth.
I love Truth Martini. But I don't know. I guess
Should we start on Raw?
yeah, Raw's fresh on our minds.
well, that's a good area to start.
We could get that done pretty quickly, I think.
I heard Raw was not so good last night.
It wasn't great.
Impression that I got.
It wasn't
Okay.
great. It
Seen
wasn't
better.
great. I don't understand why they're doing the whole fucking Lana Dolph split or what looks like it's going to be now. I don't get that. They've been together for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I
don't even
Here's
like.
one thing that really, really fucking bothers me. I was so excited going into Raw because for the first time ever, you were going to have the women's Beat the Clock challenge. And I was like, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. Something's never
Right.
been done. They're going to give them their they're going to be on the whole fucking night doing this beat the clock thing. Good for them, whatever. The first match lasted 3 minutes. The second match lasted like a minute and a half. And the other one lasted a minute and whatever. And like it just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The whole fucking tournament lasted 10 minutes of Raw time.
There should have been a triple threat between those three to see who gets the shot. And that would have been one incredible match.
Would have been better.
Or if...
It definitely teased a heel turn with Paige. She definitely looked pretty disappointed.
I'm thinking she's going to cost Charlotte the match at Night of Champions.
Yeah. Either that or Charlotte's going to win and then Paige is going to attack her afterwards.
That's always possible too. So somebody mentioned on I was reading like Reddit or something, and they said what should have happened was Sasha should have won, and then demand that she face Charlotte for the #1 contendership, because technically Sasha was the opponent of someone that was in the Beat the Clock challenge. Sasha wasn't actually part of the Beat the Clock challenge, so if she won, she didn't actually earn anything. But she could say, hey, I just pinned, Paige or whatever. She's a former women's champion, which means that, or Divas champion, I'm sorry. So she's a former champion, and I pinned her. I think I should go against Charlotte. Let's do it one more time on Raw. And then next week on Raw, you have the ladies wrestle for the #1 contendership. And honestly, you could put that up at 10 o'clock. I would say you could even put that up as the main event at 9:50 and let it overrun into the 11 o'clock hour, or at 10:50 and let it overrun at the 11 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I agree.
Those girls could go.
Of course they can. And I'll tell you the other thing. It still gives me chills when I see Sting on Raw, and he talks about Monday Night Raw.
It's very surreal.
It is still very surreal, and it's awesome. However, I am still not at all excited about this match with Rollins.
Does nothing for me.
It just doesn't make sense.
And
yes, I understand that it's the only title Sting has never had, and this would fulfill his legacy. But
it's so out of the blue.
It came out of fucking nowhere. The last time we saw Sting, he lost. You know what I mean? Like there was no. I don't know. It made no fucking sense to me. None.
No, I agree, and I think. Honestly, I think the only reason they did it was for some shenanigans to happen, for Sting to pin Rollins, and then for Sheamus to come out and kick Sting's head into the upper deck. Like, I really feel that's what they're doing, just to get the A, the surprise of Sting winning the title, and B, the it can happen at any time kind of situation with the Money in the Bank. I'm hoping it's not doing. Yo, wouldn't that suck?
If you're going to give him the fucking title, give him the fucking title.
That would be nuclear heat on Sheamus, though.
Yeah.
You could not ask for more heat on Sheamus than kicking Sting's head off.
That is true.
He has, imagine Sting has this, 20, 25-minute match, and, Triple H comes out and interferes, and this one comes out and interferes, and whatever, and it just comes down to him, locking in the Scorpion Deathlock, not the Sharpshooter, Scorpion Deathlock, and he gets the tap out, and he wins the title, and he's all of his face paint's running off, and everybody's cheering, and whatever the fuck, and then they just play that bagpipe music, and everybody just goes, God damn it, I'm getting a phone call that I cannot accept right now. Did everybody hear that? Or was that just me?
I heard.
Oh, yeah, no, we heard it.
Wow, that's funny. I don't like that.
My phone.
I don't like that it rings to my laptop. That's weird. But I feel like he would do that, and he'd be all beat up, and then they play the bagpipe music, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah, you're like, that's it, I'm going to bed.
It's yeah, good night, everybody.
Good night, going to bed.
Literally wake me up when September ends, and somebody else has the time. Oh my God! So Raw. Glad we got that out of the way.
Although I will say this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
There was the return of the Dudley Boys wrestling a match on Raw. Awesome.
That's
Very
great.
glad they're back. Just saying.
They look in amazing shape. Though Bully Ray was looking great in TNA. He has a really stunning Looks really close to Bubba. I don't know. They might be brothers.
Might be brothers. No, I'm glad they're getting their work in. Get your last run in. Sell those last few T-shirts and DVDs and all that shit. while
Hey,
you can.
listen. Did you also hear that the beautiful people showed up at a WWE house show?
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody. So the person who was running the graphics for advertising the WWE house show, like as they were putting the graphics up, they just probably just Googled like wrestling.
Oh, so it wasn't
women or
legit.
something. It wasn't them. The person they did show up. Showed up in the form of they were showing the advertisement on the Titantron, and instead of showing John Cena, it was a picture of the beautiful people, and it said WWE Live. So it was just an error by somebody at the at the arena.
Because I got kind of excited, and then I was like, well, that would kind of make sense. Maybe Bully kind of...
It would make sense for one of them, but I don't know if is Angelina still working with TNA?
Well, she's pregnant now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
That
about
kind
that.
of hurts that.
Good for her. Okay, so let's talk about this guy that pooped on the WWE building and then later came back with a knife.
What the fuck is wrong with wrestling fans?
Yo, there was a video on YouTube where he mixed poop with milk.
Oh,
He made a poop shake.
even worse.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
How do you make poop worse? You add milk to it.
How do you make poop worse? You had milk in a straw, apparently.
I just don't understand what the fuck is wrong with people. You got some fucking asshole jumping the barrier trying to fucking what looked to be
Okay, we can handle both of these at the same time. Yes.
well, they
fuck
all
that.
tie in. What the fuck? I mean, you got Dean Ambrose almost got
Insanity.
killed. You know, you got fucking Roman gets his head bashed in with a fucking Money in the Bank briefcase. You got the Performance Center shooting. I don't. What is going on? And then well, I won't even touch Snooki yet. But what the fuck?
Yeah, just like the guy that they say it was that did the Performance Center thing was apparently has had run-ins with them before and was told he's not allowed on the campus and got back. He apparently has more than one time dressed in a wrestling costume and then banged on the doors asking for a job. That's not how you get a job as a wrestler.
Seriously?
Probably not the
Yeah.
best one.
I'll tell you what, though. They're not going to allow people to dress up like wrestlers anymore. I mean, there was that thing a few months back with all those fans in the front row that were told to change their, and then they got those shirts and the Cena and shirts. But yeah, especially after this, there's no way they're going to have cosplayers around anymore.
And then the other thing was even the guy that threw the briefcase was wearing a mask. He was wearing a wrestling mask, like a Lucha Libre mask. So they might just start getting rid of those altogether, as much as they have the Sin Cara stuff.
I mean, was he mad? Was he the one that got hit with the car door shrapnel from Lesnar?
Oh my God, yo, what would you do if that was you sitting in the crowd and Lesnar threw a car door at you? You're dead. You just assume that you died.
I'm calling my lawyer. The fuck?
Yeah, seriously, but
I'd have a trip to WrestleMania.
They got lucky with that.
the
These fans are nuts. I don't understand. What
the
hell-
Performance Center guy is really obviously has some kind of troubling mental issue because apparently he's really into Ghostbusters and would tag Dan Aykroyd and various Ghostbuster cast members in his tweets and shit, and he would talk about he called AJ the cutest ghost that ever floated into his life or some shit like that.
That's not
what
creepy.
the fuck, man? It's just these are real life people, and the knife guy that jumped Dean Ambrose. I don't know what the motivation was behind that. They haven't really said since it happened. They really haven't said much, but I love Dean Ambrose's reaction. He was just like, fuck.
Yeah, that's a vintage.
He was just
Dean
so
Ambrose, Michael Cole
not-
might say.
He just shrugged.
Nonchalant. Yeah.
That's different.
Sure.
You don't see that every day.
I mean,
That security put them down nice and hard, though. I love that.
it's different from the days of classy Freddie Blassie getting stabbed several times, back in the day, and stuff like that, or even Piper inciting riots and stuff like that. But this is like a new age, a new day, and no pun intended for that.
It's a new day. Oh, yes, it is.
Feel the power.
Except everybody's feeling sour.
Oh, man.
I didn't mean to start that, but anyway.
Hey,
No, really, we're in a
But you know what I
time
mean?
where
It's
people
different
take
times now, and
an extra step.
it's not even like NWO begins, Hogan turns, and then all the trash goes in the ring.
Right.
It's different times. You can't even do that anymore,
No, but I mean, people used to flip cars over like back in the 70s and 80s when people thought it was legit. They would like stab people or shoot them. Like they would come out with weapons. But it was limited to like wrestling shows because people would be upset at wrestling shows and it would happen. Now you have your entire life broadcast over every portion of social media. They can find you. Like they know where you are. It's very well advertised that the WWE Performance Center is in Florida, and if you got a crazy person in Florida that thinks if they can go to their local Champ Sports, put on a singlet and some headgear and go over and say, "You can see me," thinking they're gonna get a job. It's gonna happen, man. You just have to expect it and roll with it.
Kind of reminiscent of the guy that shot up people during the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that guy was a fucking creep too.
yeah, he took
It's similar,
that to a new level.
I didn't realize I just had a Peter Brady moment there with my voice, but
There you go. That's for all the kids watching that are up on 1970s popular culture.
yeah.
Um,
And Nick at Night is still around.
it is. All right, can we talk about Zara for a second?
Yes.
This scummy rat.
Fuck her.
Like seriously, you fuck up a 10-year relationship, and you get the guy to start sending his dick pics to you, and then his dick pics end up on the internet, and then a couple months later he finds out you're a secret Nazi. Like, come on, man.
You know what bothers me more than anything about her, too? Her defense to it wasn't even a defense. Like,
stupid.
it wasn't even... She never once denies being a Nazi.
Right.
Like, never once denies
No,
it.
no.
Calls
She
it
did
art
not
and all of
deny
this other bullshit.
Not at all,
Fuck her. I'm glad she's unemployed.
I'm just waiting for her to show up on, like, Impact or something.
Dixie Carter will hire anyone.
Oh, of course you will, especially if they work for WWE.
Yep.
Speaking of, Bram was arrested.
Yep.
That's if they don't get canceled in, another
Right.
week?
Oh, that's right. We're getting down to it.
Month.
I've heard from internet reports that TNA is already not being shown on Destination America in other countries.
Yeah, overseas they're not showing it.
Yeah. So one more
Meanwhile,
data there.
Global Force still doesn't have a TV deal, really.
No, they filmed like 4 episodes of their show or something, Amped, which is great if you like Mountain Dew or were aware of, television shows in like the 90s, because everything was amped, bro. Like, come on, man.
What do you expect from Jeff Jarrett, though?
It's like a Jolt Cola commercial.
I'm sorry, I had to take a shot at Jarrett. I kind of hate his face.
People say when they meet him that they like him a lot. I'm sure he's a very nice guy.
I'm not saying his person. He could be the greatest person, but
Yeah, I mean, I want to meet him at
I hated
WrestleCade
his
this
character.
year.
I just didn't like the thing that really soured me on Jeff Jarrett for a long time was TNA when he did
early of TNA.
early
like,
TNA, and he did that Planet Jarrett thing, and he had the title for like 3 years, and then they switched the title to Raven, and then Spike TV signs them because they went off of Fox Sports Net, and they were off TV for months, and I had to download this little Real Player thing and watch it about this big on my screen, but I was watching Impact from like this tiny, teeny little screen live every week until they got their Spike TV deal. And a week before their Spike TV deal, at a fucking house show that wasn't even a TNA house show, it was some house show up in Canada that was NWA affiliated, and then AMW runs out and costs Raven the title, and there's a title change so Jarrett can be the champion right before they go, so that when they debut on Spike, Jeff Jarrett was a champion. And that was what pissed me off.
I mean, yeah. Did they learn nothing from AWA with Vern Gagne having the title all the damn time?
Nope.
Vern was
Apparently he
shit.
did
Vern
not.
was old by the time he had the title in like the 70s.
Oh man, we need to have a quote compilation here, and one of them is Vern Gagne is shit, as said by Eric Friedman.
Well, he also didn't
No,
have
I
the
know.
foresight to push Hogan, despite
Yeah,
Hogan's
no, that's true. Right.
stuff, whatever. But
We're looking at 2020 with Hogan. Who knows what he would have done with Hogan?
Oh, like I'm. Speaking of 2020, that's probably the next time the WWE is going to talk about the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
and this
he's
is
hit some rough
this
time.
is
Then he did that. We didn't even mention that yet. He was on Good Morning America. What the fuck?
with the apology, right?
Yeah. Holy shit. And that, like we said, I mean, it was pretty much what we figured. He had been like we said, he had been in some bad times. It was not the best time in his life, and he said some unfortunate shit because he was in a bad way. It happens. I didn't like that somebody online said, one of the reporters from like ProWrestling.net said, Hulk Hogan said that he grew up around people who use the N-word, but he grew up in Florida, so that doesn't, like that negated the point. It's like, no, I don't think you understand.
There are no black people in Tampa? Like, what do you mean?
Like, in Florida, Florida's the South. Florida's just as racist as anywhere else in the South, man.
Absolutely.
Just because all the Jews moved there in their later years doesn't mean that it's, like, completely, completely liberal or non-racist. Come on. But, yeah, I don't know. I think this whole thing is silly. If Jimmy Superfly Snuka can still be on the WWE website as a member of the Hall of Fame, then, goddammit, so should Hulk Hogan.
Agreed.
Hey, he might be pulled off sooner than later if that trial takes a turn for the worst.
I don't know why. I think after today they should have done it. If they're going to do it with Hulk Hogan, man, that's a double standard. Just because allegedly Vince McMahon may have had something to do with his release from jail that night, and allegedly has something to do with the reason they did not investigate any further, that's no reason to protect Snuka like that. But I have a feeling that might be why, is that I've read articles that imply that Vince McMahon had something to do with them releasing Snuka and just kind of sweeping this under the rug.
Maybe so, but that was like only months after he bought the company from his father. It was, he was very new to that role.
Yeah.
But everybody has to blame Vince McMahon for everything.
Well, no, I mean, he did what he needed to do to get his boy out of jail, because Jimmy Superfly Snuka, before that happened, was set for this gigantic push. He was going to be Hulk Hogan, basically. He was supposed to be the ethnic superstar that broke through and like, he was going to be like Hulk Hogan, but like a minority, and be like their top guy, and kind of be like, hey, look at how progressive we are. Because he was getting really, really good reactions in New York. I mean, that he leapt off the cage, did the whole deal. That was like, that was as hot as he got. And right around when this happened, his push stopped. And people say that his push may have stopped because of the whole murdery thing.
The murdery thing.
Yeah.
And, it's got to be awkward now for Tamina to be around because I know, like, she's a completely different person, but it's still her father.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's got to be awkward for her in the locker room now.
Yeah. Let's see. So we covered the murder thing. We covered the... this is a bad day. I'm just looking at this. Shooting, knife attack, Nazis, murder, domestic violence.
Money in the bank briefcases.
Money in the bank briefcase.
It's raining money in the bank. When it rains, it pours.
Right? All right, well, it's 7:30. This gives us plenty of time. Guess what? I'm going to do it again.
And you're going to get a 5 count. Do you hear that? You're going to get a 5 count.
3 ain't enough, man. I need 5.
5 weren't enough. We need an additional 5. This is a bonus Friedman 5 of this was a topic I came up with, and I will let somebody pitch the next special Friedman 5 that we do. But I liked this one, and I thought, what the hell? And everybody seemed to be receptive. Your top 5 least favorite members of the Four Horsemen. So I have a feeling we may get into some disagreements about this. This could be interesting, but wonderful. I live in a good neighborhood. So I don't know if you heard the siren go by, but who wants to go first with their number 5? Steve, you're 5. So this is your least favorite, but not the ultimate least favorite. Who
What
do you
if
got?
I have one person to fill all 5 spots?
Is that serious? You have one person that fills all 5?
You know, I never thought to do
Fucking
that.
heart attack.
I never thought
Because
to do that.
Mongo fucking McMichaels
right.
was the fucking worst, and he is deserving of being the worst top 5 in every fucking category. Him and his little fucking mutt. I fucking hated him. And then he used to put the little costumes on the fucking thing. I hated that motherfucker. I fucking hated him.
Wrestler, let alone a horseman.
That motherfucker could not do anything in the ring except for an arm drag, and even that didn't look good half the time.
Armbar.
Oh, I could go on for days about Mongo. You want to talk about? I'll put it to you this way. I think it was a smarter decision to have what's-his-face become the world champion, the actor, what's-his-face?
David Arquette.
David Arquette to win the fucking world title than it ever was to put not only Mongo on the announce team, but to make him a fucking horseman. It is disgusting to even think that he was never a horseman. In my eyes, he was never worthy of being a fucking horse. Fuck him. Fuck him.
Okay, wonderful. So we have your whole top 5. Eric, start at 5 and work your way up. What's your top 5?
Damn, you know, I never would have thought about putting him in all 5 spots, but you're right, he does
That's
deserve
how
it.
bad he is, apparently.
Spoiler alert, he's my number 1 least favorite. But
Eric, start
But let
from
me-
the beginning.
let
He's
me
not
get
even gonna mince words.
let me get into some others. All right, Jeff Jarrett.
You stole
Yep.
mine.
He was the horseman for like 4 months or whatever. He was technically, there were 5 horsemen at the time because he was like, him and Mongo had this little feud about Deborah to see if Jarrett was worthy of being a horseman. Neither were worthy of being a horseman. Jarrett had a little thing. Unfortunately, I can't even put Kurt Hennig in this list because he was a horseman for what, like a week before he
And
turned
then
on
he did
fire?
that NWO thing, yeah.
And I think, this is just my opinion, but I think Hennig would have made a great horseman, and he shouldn't have been turned to the NWO. The NWO was diluted by then. He got lost in the
that could have
shuffle.
been-
He would
that
have
could
been
have been good.
focused on the horseman, you know.
Especially since he started that whole deal with him and Rude back up again. Like him and Rude couldn't wrestle, so he was like his manager. They had a
Yep.
great team. It would have been cool to see Rude be almost like J.J. Dillon, and then
Wow,
a
that
4
would've been
horseman. You know,
Um,
four horsemen with Kurt Hennig, and then Rude as their J.J. Dillon guy. That would have been that could have been interesting.
Let's see. I'm iffy. Like I'm kind of tied between Sid and Dean Malenko. Now Malenko, great wrestler, and I loved him, but he didn't have the personality to be a horseman. I mean, you could say that about Benoit too, I guess, but Malenko was even worse on the mic than
Yeah, those guys were not exactly known for
And
being
Benoit.
charismatic.
I did like the Benoit and Pillman teaming for a while in the I like that version of the Horseman. Well, except for Mongo, obviously.
Mongo.
Sid was kind of like just the big guy there, but then things got ruined with him and Arn and the Scissors,
Yeah, the scissors. Holy shit, the scissors.
scissoring, if you will. And second to last, and this may or may not be controversial, but Sting. Horrible choice for a horseman.
I'm there with you.
The second to worst has got to be Paul Roma.
Huh.
Paul Roma, I mean, the Horsemen were face at this point, which is
Right.
beyond ridiculous anyway, but Paul Roma, like, all of a sudden Paul Roma, I don't understand. And obviously, number 1, Steve Mongo McMichael, I fucking hate that guy.
All right, now what is the aggression? Because now you're a pretty calm guy. Steve gets riled up pretty easily. You don't. You had such a reaction to Steve Mongo McMichael. What is it?
He shouldn't have even been a wrestler, let alone a horseman.
I don't disagree.
I never liked him. He was horrible on the mic, in the ring. I hate him. Hate his fucking stupid little dog, like Steve mentioned.
You even hated the dog. Oh
on Monday
God.
Nitro, or I'm sorry, Monday NyQuil, that Steve Austin so eloquently put. Just, oh my God, it's just everything about him. He had that stupid feud with Kevin Green. I almost think Kevin Green would have made a better horseman than Mongo. But that whole thing, anything involving Steve McMichael was garbage. And he won the U.S. title for a little while, too, which was
yeah, he did.
Oh, my God. I can't even...
And he did a tombstone. Who the fuck trusted him with a tombstone?
He's beyond... He's the worst. He's the worst.
Is he the worst wrestler of all time, in your opinion?
Ooh.
That might be another list.
That's a tough one.
That might be another list. I wonder.
I say yes.
Oh man! So see, we couldn't even do a top 5 worst of all time because it would be a bunch of guys and then Mongo at the top of Steve.
Well, no, but that would actually be an interesting topic.
He very well could be, but as far as horsemen, the absolute worst decision one of the worst decisions that WCW ever made, and
that's up there with Shockmaster.
Yes, I still don't understand it to this day, and I'm anxious to see Vince, your picks and Ryan's picks as well.
Yeah, Ryan, what's your list?
It's a lot of repeats, unfortunately.
I kind of at this point we expected.
Number 5, I'd go Sting, Luger.
I thought Luger was a good horseman.
Just
Luger.
I
He
really
replacement for Ole, and I got Luger over after he kept kicked out. But anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I get what you. Trust me and Ryan are gonna have I think a lot of overlap too. Keep going.
All right, I'm on number.
Yeah, you're on your number 3 because you said.
Yeah, I was just making sure that.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Kurt Hennig.
Just because of the way that went down.
It was a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Your number 2, your second to the top. What do you think?
I'd go Jeff Jarrett, then
Double J.
Yeah.
Leaving who is number 1 here?
Everybody's favorite, number 1. He is hard to beat.
See, now my list is a little bit different, and I will explain why. 5 is Sting because I just don't picture Sting. Like when I think of the 4 Horsemen, I think of them feuding with Sting.
I think that was only done to build up Sting's world title thing
right.
Flair, probably.
And I guess I'm not including the fact that it did eventually get these guys over in the end, but when I think of the 4 Horsemen as a lineup, I just don't include, like in my head, I don't picture Sting as one of them. And that's why my number 4 is Luger, because it wasn't bad, like he's not a bad wrestler and he's not a bad, character or any of that. And it did eventually get him over, but he didn't have very long in the Horsemen, so I don't. When I think of guys, when I think of a picture of the 4 Horsemen, all going like this, standing together, he's not one of the guys in my head. Number 3 is Jeff Jarrett. For, pretty much the same reason. He just wasn't. He's not a horseman. Just not. No, he rode a horse. He rode a horse to the ring. He's not a horseman. My number 2 is Mongo. Because I don't like Mongo either. But my number 1. There you go. My number 1 is Paul Roma. Solely because of what he said in that DVD, the 4 Horsemen DVD. He talked some shit about the Horsemen, said that, he tried to talk himself up as like a bigger up-and-coming star than he actually was, and like he put himself over in that documentary. It was the one that I think they released when they went into the Hall of Fame, and of course I think they needed a heel on the DVD, but he just said some shitty things, and I know he trained a couple of my guys, a couple of guys at Northeast Wrestling, so I don't hold like a super duper grudge
He's
against him.
cool with Mario Mancini.
Right, yeah, he's cool with Mario Mancini. I just don't, I don't appreciate what he said about the Horseman thing.
And not only, you just because you were a young stallion doesn't mean you were a horseman.
Just because you're Salvatore Sincere.
No, that was Tom Brandi.
Was that? Oh, no, that was Tom Brandi. That's another guy I have a fucking. Don't get me started on Tom Brandi. He makes me so angry. Okay, you know how Steve gets angry at Mongo? When I think about the whole thing with Del Wilkes being the Patriot and then Tom Brandi being the Patriot and saying that he bought the gimmick from him, he didn't. He never bought the gimmick. Del Wilkes should still be.
Del Wilkes is the damn Patriot.
God damn it! That's the only Patriot I recognize. Okay, I got that out of my system.
Deep breath.
I think we've got some future segments lined up already.
Yeah. Because I think Tom Brandi would be up there as the Patriot as one of my least favorite masked characters of all time.
Sincerely.
Oh, he's got two bad gimmicks in a row. Shit.
That was the 95 was like a horrible year for
yes, it was.
Gimmicks.
The the early 90s, unless you wanted to be Duke the Dumpster Droese or Man Mountain Rock, you had to have an occupation.
Bastion Booger.
The Mountie.
TL Hopper.
TL Hopper, yep.
Bastion Booger.
The Goon.
It's pretty sad when Repo Man is the best out of all those guys.
The Repo Man was good. I mean, come on, man. Who didn't? I remember the Repo Man.
You know,
Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. Oh my God! So yes, we have plenty of fodder for some other top fives, maybe top 5 bad gimmicks or top 5, masked wrestlers stuff like that. I think the bad we know so many bad gimmicks. We just listed off about 20 of them.
Oh, I could go on for days.
Right. What was that, Ryan?
I was going to ask for week before Night of Champions, do top 5 Night of Champions matches.
Night of Champions.
That'd be nice. That'd be a challenge there.
Because I don't remember really anything from that paper.
That's why I said it would be a nice challenge to find top 5.
It would be a challenge because WrestleMania is easy. SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, those are easy. Night of Champions is a difficult one to
I mean, back in the day when I used to download the pay-per-views the next day.
Shit up, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, in 2 weeks from yesterday is when Nikki Bella's is gonna break the record.
Can we just please get this over with?
So obviously it's gonna break before Night of Champions.
Right.
But here's the thing. She's talking about being like the longest reigning Divas champion, but the Divas title has only been around since what, 2008?
Yeah.
Not to mention
that's because the longest reigning women's champion is technically Moolah, because between the time when it was retired by the NWA and revived by the WWF, it was like 26 years. The title wasn't defended, but she was still considered the champion. So they don't ever include the women's title in it. Especially, the other thing that's kind of a bugaboo for them is that the women's title had a lineage with the NWA women's title at one point.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why they even like the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, even though Eric Bischoff brought it out and acknowledged it as the old WCW title and presented it to Triple H as such, they considered it a separate title with a separate lineage. I
to
don't.
Me,
I think
to me it was a championship of a dead organization, and I pretty much don't count anyone that's held that title since.
It's weird because then you see guys like Edge who got 5 or 6 of those, and the Undertaker got a bunch of them.
Mark Henry got his final, his courtesy
and
belt.
Remember Dolph won it because
Batista
Edge
won it several times.
Yeah, the spear was banned. He won it for what? A night?
Well, he lost it that night as well. The Great Khali was the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at one point.
They had Kane and Batista. They couldn't give it to one of them, and
I don't know how you didn't give it to Kane.
Kane and Batista. Yeah, I mean, I
Kane had
Booker
a good
T
run with it at the end.
Booker T had that
final.
King Booker
Oh, that was great. Oh,
Muppets, I say.
King Booker.
That was really good.
They
Him
should
and
have
the,
had
Bill
like,
had a
do-
good run.
They should have had him do many segments about doing movie reviews.
Him and Goldust. That
I
was
thought
great.
I was gonna get my own cooking show. Nope.
No, you're getting
I love
more
that
swag.
story.
I did love him and Goldust though. That was great.
Oh,
No,
yo,
they
that
were
tag
great.
team, yeah. That was when he did that great brawl with Steve Austin inside the supermarket.
That's when
That was
Goldust used to
before
have
the-
the stutter because he
Yep.
got electrocuted.
Yeah,
NWO.
that's right. They threw him into like the electrical equipment by the side of the entrance.
But
Yeah.
Goldust dressed up as the crocodile hunter, and it was hunting
Yep.
like Big Show, and he called X-Pac like a rat or something like that.
Oh my God, ridiculous. Oh, so you mentioned something earlier that we didn't get into yet, which was Greg Valentine with his comments about women's wrestling. And to also kind of to expand on that. Speaking of women's wrestling, I guess the next person that they're looking at in terms of revoking their Hall of Fame status, or at least not acknowledging their Hall of Fame status, is Sunny. Surprise, surprise.
That was a matter
So
of time.
I'm surprised it actually took this long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course she's on Facebook defending herself, and she has a right to defend
Of course she
herself.
is.
But her defense is, yeah, I did all these things. So everybody, basically, her defense is like, other people have been to jail, other people have been, porn stars or whatever the fuck else. It's like, so why are you gonna judge me? And I get it, but I mean, there's a difference between being a WWE Hall of Famer and then Skyping guys in your lingerie for like $10 a minute or whatever it is. Like, you should hold yourself to a higher standard. I don't know. That's kind of my take on her. But
Speaking of women wrestlers, they signed Japanese wrestler Kana.
yes, I heard about that.
She's very good in the ring, and I think she speaks English, from what I understand.
Oh, good.
Um,
That held back a couple guys,
which will definitely help. And I don't know if this is official yet, but apparently they're signed Sarita.
Yes, as a
She's
trainer.
not going to be a wrestler, but she's going to be a trainer probably. With like her and Sarah Del Rey will do so much good for women wrestlers.
I'm glad that they have these girls who know how to work that can help this new generation, because if Eva Marie is any indication, these bitches need help.
Oh
That's a
man.
true story.
Hear the report.
You know that's inevitable though. You know Eva Marie's going to get some kind of push and.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she's gonna pin Becky, or she's gonna pin Sasha for the title, and then we're all just gonna give
It's
up
very
on this whole
likely that
Divas
she's going to be
Revolution.
the one to take the belt off of Bayley whenever that happens.
People will revolt.
Though it seems like they're going to push.
If
Bayley
Eva Marie
forward.
wins, we riot.
Pretty much. Get the poop guy back. I'll bail the poop guy out if he'll be there. All poop everything.
You just got a T-shirt, Vince.
All poop everything. No. Oh.
A jar of his fancy
Yeah,
milkshake.
His special milkshake. Ugh. But really, Greg the Hammer Valentine said a few things, and
He said
Okay.
women should be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and stuff like that.
yeah, not exactly the most PC shit you could say
He
nowadays.
said 1950s shit.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it was.
I wouldn't
It was.
even say that's PC. That's 19.
Yeah,
Welcome to the 1950s.
it really is very outdated. A very outdated way of thinking, and I mean, he's an old guy. I mean, how can we fault? I can't fault an old person for being set in their ways. They're wrong. I know what he said is wrong, but I don't think I'm going to do any good to change his mind. It's not going to happen. He's been believing this shit
That's
for 70 years. I acknowledge that he's wrong and he's a racist or whatever. Or not racist because or whatever sexist.
Yeah,
you move on from it. There's so much racist shit happening. Like Zara is a Nazi, and then we have Hulk Hogan dropping N-bombs. So I almost assumed he was in with the race thing, but he's not. He was good. He was a sexist, not a racist. Oh. This was a bad
some
week.
sort of taste.
And it's making like news too. It's like not good.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, they're gonna jump all over it any chance they get.
I noticed though, the sad thing, another bad day for Seth Rollins, is that on TMZ it doesn't say WWE NXT diva Zara fired for being a Nazi. It says WWE champion Seth Rollins' girlfriend fired by WWE. They're acknowledging him as the world champion. They're pairing them together. They're putting him on the front page of all of these websites. It's not good PR at all.
I think TMZ is just the biggest pile of shit.
Oh yeah, I don't consider that a credible news source. I'm sorry.
I had to throw that out there.
I know they're
no
on
offense to
all the
anybody.
time, but I'm sorry, they're not a credible news source.
I just
I don't give them credence. I just millions of people view their site every day. So it's more of a indictment by pop culture. You get indicted in the press first. So, like OJ.
He was innocent. If the glove does not fit, you must.
That's right, damn it. A leather glove.
Him, damn it.
A leather glove soaked in blood and left to dry for a year doesn't fit. Who would have thought, dummies?
If you have a star lawyer like Johnny Cochran, you're gonna get off.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's disappointing to hear somebody like Greg Valentine say that when you would think that even when he was wrestling, there were women wrestling that were fantastic. He was wrestling on the same shows as like the Jumping Bomb Angels. He was wrestling on the same shows back in the day as like Moolah and Johnny Mae Young and all that. Like
Wendy
he was
Richter and
working
all
with
that,
these
yeah.
people. So it's not like he can't say that they're not good wrestlers, but to say that they belong in the kitchen, that's really outmoded. Like I don't think even Marie belongs.
He said nothing about like their talent or anything like that.
Right.
It was more just basically saying that women don't belong in wrestling at all. Period.
Yeah.
I don't.
Not
I
that
don't
that improves the statement any better.
Right. It doesn't. It makes it. It
doesn't.
Narrows it in, but it makes it still bad. Yeah. Like But I don't think that the women like. I think Eva Marie should be at a Gap. Like that's where she could probably work and do well for herself. Maybe be like a manager or something. But I don't think she
can manage anything.
You don't think she can manage You don't think she can manage a Gap in the mall?
I don't know.
All the outfits would be red.
It would be no more blue jeans, all red.
All red everything. Here's something I'd like to talk about at some point, not today necessarily because it's a big topic, but remember the plane ride from hell? With
yes.
all the shit that went down on that one particular plane ride?
That would be great.
That's one of my favorite things, yeah.
So much stuff went down on just that. And the potential of horrible things that could have happened because of that.
Yeah, didn't
Well, Brock Lesnar and Kurt Hennig had this little brawl on the plane.
Right,
they almost was trying to break up. Shit, God forbid the door would have got
the emergency exit.
Yeah,
that would have been dangerous.
But not to give too much away, but that's one of the many things that happened on that flight.
Yeah, but yeah, that would be a good thing to kind of to talk about for sure. It is, we do have about 6 minutes left before we get to the top of the hour, so why don't we do our usual kind of finish up thing. So Eric, if there's any other we'll go right along, right around the room here. If there's any last minute thoughts or anything you want to tack on here, let us know about your, just your final thoughts for tonight here, Eric. We'll give you the floor and then move on to everybody else.
As Steve said at the top of the hour, there's some big things coming up for Tag Me a Date. You can see us at WrestleCade this year. I will be there representing Tag Me a Date. We've got a table with Rebel.
Ooh.
The beautiful Rebel. I'm very excited about that.
She's very pretty.
And And there's just, I mean, if you look at the list of the people that are going to be at WrestleCade this year, it's huge. We owe our buddy Charlie Armstrong big for that, and I'm going to be representing. I'm very excited about it.
That's very cool. WrestleCade is a cool event, and I wish it was around a time where I could travel to go, but it is right around Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving, but luckily I already live in North Carolina. That's why I'm going to head this thing up. And last year they got about 3,000 people that came along. One particular match that is definitely going on is Jeff Jarrett versus Matt Hardy. So I'm going to get to see that, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, that could be that has potential to be good. Because I know those guys still, they both still kind of wrestle regularly. Matt does, at least. I know Jeff maybe breaks it out once in a while.
It's going to be very Global Force influenced, I think.
I can tell it's tinged, but maybe they'll have a defense of their TNA. The global TNA, Global Force TNA
PJ
title.
Black will be the
PJ Black, NWA, TNA. GFW.
The artist formerly known as Justin Gabriel.
Yeah, seriously. Let's see. We covered everything here. How about you, Ryan? Anything you working on? Anything interesting in your life? Anything you want to mention here before we close out today?
Just working 7 days, so just trying to work through.
That's
great. Hey, I'm excited for Survivor Series. Get to see Sting wrestle again. I mean, how many more times do we got that?
You know, I'm down on the fact that he's wrestling for the world title and all the implications. Like, it leads down a road of weird booking decisions. Bottom line, I want to see Sting wrestle. I mean,
I completely agree with the world title. How many more times do we get to see this?
But what are they gonna do? Like, you know what? I just don't want to see. I don't want to see what we were discussing earlier. Him winning the title and then Sheamus just immediately comes out and is just like
kick his teeth out his throat. I don't want to see that. Sting deserves better.
Exactly. You're right. He does. Anything you want to plug? Anything?
Not that I'm.
All right. We'll get you some plug. You'll end up having like some kind of website or app or some kind of creation that you've invented. I have a feeling you're going to come with something that's not Tag Me Date related, and you're going to say like, "This is my new, like fantastic whatever app." And
this is my new baby.
It's like it's 99 cents, and then people buy like 6 million of it, and we're like, we should have been with that guy, One of those things. That's coming. I'm sure that's coming. And how about you, Steve?
Special shout out to Immortal Seats. We do a sponsorship with them. The Can-Man Connection as well. They had a big weekend, so good for them. And TagMeADate.com. Location searching is coming any day now. We got women going to be free any day now. We got so much coming. We got new pricing coming out. First month's free. TagMeADate.com.
Hey, can I plug me on TagMeADate.com?
Absolutely.
Oh, shit, I had to throw that out there. Oh, I'm up there. You just gotta find me.
Find him by location. He'll give out a zip code.
There we go. Yeah. Hey, no special milkshakes at my place, though.
So let's see here. I don't know if I have anything to plug necessarily. Just that it's another good week, another good podcast. I like the little thing we did with the 5 Horsemen one. We can expand that to other topics. I think if we do it every so often, it'll be a nice little change of pace. And big props to Ronda Rousey, who
yes,
there was a Marine that sent that video out. And it was an invitation like the Marine Corps ball, and she said yes, but she's having a hard time getting in touch with him rather. So if hopefully she gets she's able to get in touch with him and make that work out. That's really fantastic that she would take her time out
that's amazing.
For someone in the military.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So yeah, just that's very, very cool. And of course, our folks should Tag Me a Date with Immortal Seats. They have a podcast now I just heard about. And of course, our friends, the Can-Man Connection, who we will get them on the show shortly, I'm sure. Yeah. overall, good week. I'm going to play a little outro here, and this has been the War Report podcast brought to you by TagMeADate.com. We're live on YouTube every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will see you all next week.
Guys, it's finally here. Our first ever online dating service for wrestling fans. My name is Hartzell. I'm a radio DJ here in Kansas City, Missouri. But hey, don't take my word for it. Sign up today. TagMeADate.com. Your first month's free. Why not give it a shot? TagMeADate.com.